This is the matter of Baldwin versus Baldwin. Both parties are present, as well as Mr. Liljurai, attorney for the plaintiff. So we're scheduled today for trial. Anything preliminary, Mr. Liljurai?
Well, Your Honor, Nick Liljurai on behalf of the plaintiff. Thank you, Your Honor. I did have a conversation with Mr. Baldwin last Friday regarding our proposal regarding parenting time. I also sent him an email regarding some personal property items that Ms. Baldwin would like returned. Me and Mr. Baldwin, I would characterize that as a pleasant conversation. I did not receive a response regarding the personal property, and I don't know exactly what his response is, or if he told me, I don't remember, regarding our parenting time proposal. I don't know if the court wants to know that, or what the court wants to know. I don't know if we want to take to try to resolve it. I leave that.
I'm willing to give you an opportunity to talk this afternoon. If you can get to the same place, that's great. If you can't, I'll be here. Mr. Baldwin, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a private meeting room that you and Mr. Liljurai can have a private conversation in.
Okay.
To see if there's at least some issues that you can agree on, or perhaps the whole thing. But in any event, I'm willing to give you some time to work on that. So I'll set up that breakout room. Ms. Baldwin, we'll just keep you muted, but Mr. Liljurai will be able to speak to you by telephone if there's issues that need to be discussed and negotiated. So I'm going to set up the breakout room now. And Mr. Baldwin, all you have to do is you'll get a prompt on your screen to bring you into that meeting room. And I'll just watch the monitor. And when I see the two of you back, I'll know that we're either ready to go forward with trial or ready to resolve.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thanks.
You're welcome. Mr. Liljurai, can you tell me what are the areas of dispute?
Yes, Your Honor. So one of I think the main area of dispute is parenting time, Your Honor.
Okay.
Right now, our position is that parenting time would occur every other week on Sundays and Mondays when Mr. Baldwin is off from work. That's consistent, I think, with the front of the court recommendation. The front of the court recommendation, which wasn't objected to by Mr. Baldwin, we had a very limited objection, indicated every other weekend parenting time. But if he were at drill or otherwise working because of the nature of his work, we would not exercise parenting time. Another concern, Your Honor, regarding the parenting time is Mr. Baldwin's significant other, Ella Bancroft. You'll hear testimony regarding physical discipline of the children by Ms. Bancroft. So we wouldn't want her to be parenting the children without Mr. Baldwin present. I did speak with Mr. Baldwin, and there is an agreement on this that neither party, Your Honor, would use physical discipline of the children. I don't think child support is that much in dispute. We didn't object to the amount in our objection, Your Honor. We just objected to the onset date. And they had an onset date, I think, of January. And I think the onset date should be November 13th when the complaint for divorce was filed. There isn't significant property issues in this matter, Your Honor. It's items of personal property. I had sent Mr. Baldwin the list. He indicates that some of those items he believes are still in his possession, that he would have to look regarding the other items. they're not, I wouldn't say that these items are of significant financial value, but they're of significant sentimental and personal value. One of the issues, and I'm not sure of this because Mr. Baldwin brought something up that I'm not aware of, I'm not saying he's wrong, is they have a child that passed away that was cremated, and her ashes are in, who retains those ashes, or whether or not they divide them. Mr. Baldwin checked into the law you can't just divide ashes, you have to have someone do it. Whether or not that's accurate, I don't know. But if that's the case, then we'd have to talk about it. The last issue, Your Honor, is I ran a alimony calculation in this case, the margin soft program, and it yielded a result of $365 per month for 3.3 to 5 years. This case is a little different, I think, than a case I've had in a while, in that these parties have been married for, I think it'd be 10 years, I think this July. They have 3 children. And in February of 2020, Ms. Baldwin went in for surgery on her heart. She's had heart issues throughout her life. Something unfortunate happened during that surgery, and she was in the hospital for a period, if I remember correctly, maybe 5 or 6 weeks. 2 of those weeks, she was in a coma. And when she awoke from that coma, she found out that she is paralyzed from the waist down. Right now, she's receiving SSI, and I think some other sort of governmental assistance. She can testify as to that. I think they just took her food stamps. I forget what the other thing she gets, but she doesn't receive a significant amount of money because that's mean tested. The front of the court set her income at 0, and I set it at 0 also when I ran my calculations. Concerns that she has, and you'll hear her testimony, is the appropriate of Mr. Baldwin's home, issues of physical and verbal and emotional abuse of the children she'll testify to. She's also concerned that the house that he's living at right now, and I just confirmed with him, does not have electricity. Working on remedying that, so it would be difficult for parenting time to occur, I think, in a home that doesn't have electricity. So I think those are the issues, Your Honor. Not significant property issues. It would be a short list we would go through. A restriction on this Ms. Bancroft being around the children unsupervised. Mr. Baldwin, he wants equal parenting time, 50-50 parenting time. I can tell you that since the weekend of approximately February 19th, 20th, Mr. Baldwin has not exercised any parenting time, has not reached out to my client to make provisions regarding parenting time. Last week when we were before, Your Honor, he indicated that he couldn't exercise the parenting time because of his obligations to the military. He's in the National Guard, and his work obligations was put pursuant to the order that he didn't object to. He wouldn't be able to exercise parenting time. He has a different job now. He indicated to me, folk, that he is making more per hour, but not necessarily more money in terms of commissions. So when I ran my numbers, Your Honor, I just used the same numbers that the front of the court used. I didn't do anything clever or imaginative. I used the same overnights, the same numbers, just to kind of simplify and streamline this.
All right, well, let's get rolling with some testimony. Mr. Baldwin, let me explain the rules just in case you're not familiar with them.
Okay.
I'll hear from Ms. Baldwin first with questions that are asked her of her attorney. I might ask a question or two just to clarify something. And then I will give you the opportunity to ask questions. Her attorney then will get another chance to question her. As soon as they're done with her testimony, then what I'll do is put you under oath, and
Okay.
you will have an opportunity to testify and provide me with whatever information you think I need in order to decide the disputed issues, okay?
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Baldwin, would you unmute your device, please? And raise your right hand. You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can put your hand down now. Please state your full name.
Tomasi Elizabeth Baldwin.
Go ahead, Mr. Liljurai.
Yes, Ms. Baldwin, could you let the court know how old you are? Let the court know how old you are.
I am 30 years old.
And could you let the court know your current medical condition? Current medical condition. Hold on.
My current medical condition.
Hold on.
We're getting some feedback from, I think it's from your device, Ms. Baldwin. I'm not sure how we fix this. Ms. Baldwin, what we might be able to do, if we've got your phone number, we can mute your device, and then I can get you on the phone. We can hear your voice over the phone, and then we won't have this feedback problem. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay, and let me see if there's one written in the court file. If there is, I won't have to repeat it.
Your Honor, I can give you her phone number if you like.
I was hoping to avoid having to state the number while we're live streaming.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor.
And let me just see if it's on the initial paperwork. Sometimes it is. If not, we'll just have to go this way.
I'm wondering if I could privately message Miss Carol. Let me see if I can figure that out.
You can email it to, oh, I see. You mean over the Zoom? I wasn't aware that was possible, but if you can, that'd be great.
Let me see if I can privately message her. Okay, let me figure this out. Okay. I don't know. It's as if it doesn't give me the option to message, Your Honor.
Why don't you, can you send an email?
Sure. I'll do it right now. Your Honor.
Hello, this is Judge LaFlamme. Is this Ms. Baldwin?
This is.
Okay, so we'll just keep your screen muted, but this is much better. Got rid of all of that feedback we were experiencing. Okay, Mr. Liljurai, go ahead with your questions.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Baldwin, my last question to you is, tell us about your current medical status.
My current medical is I have AFib and currently have heart failure due to my surgery back in February of 2020. And I am a complete paraplegic from my hips down.
Okay. And is there any expectation that you're going to be able to resume walking or able to use your lower limbs, your legs?
No, I will not be able to gain that back.
Despite being confined to a wheelchair, are you able to care for your children?
Yes, I am.
I just wanted the court to know that. Let's go back in time. When did you first meet Mr. Baldwin?
I first met Mr. Baldwin in 2006.
Okay. When did you two first start dating?
We started dating in June of 2010.
When did you get married?
July of 2011, July 16th, 2011.
And you have children together?
Yes, we do.
How many children do you have together?
4 total, 3 surviving children.
Okay. Tell me about the child who passed away.
My child that passed away was born 7 weeks early in September of 2011. She survived 5.5 weeks in the NICU and ended up passing.
And what was her name?
Paige,
And where are her ashes?
I do not have them in my possession. Wesley does have those in his possession.
Do you want them back?
Yes, I do.
Are you okay with them being divided?
Yes, I am.
Now, tell me the names of your 3 children, your surviving children.
Isabella, she's 8. Harley, she's
Okay.
6. And then we have Leland, who is 2.
Okay, we're gonna slow down a little bit. What's Isabella's date of birth?
7/25/2012.
Okay. And what is Harley's date of birth?
September 20th, 2014.
What is Leland's date of birth?
His birthday is 7/12/2018.
Do the children have any health issues?
Bella has asthma.
Okay. Anything else?
She does have a learning disability. She struggles with her reading and her writing.
Does she have an IEP?
Yes, she does.
Where does she go to school?
She goes to Kiker Elementary,
Where is that located?
Michigan Center.
Where do you live? Don't say the address, just say the.
I live in Michigan Center.
Who do you live with?
I live currently with my boyfriend, Eric Wilman, and my 3 children.
Okay. Does Eric have any children of his own?
No, he does not.
What does he do for a living?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What does he do for a living?
He is a tow truck driver at Phelps Towing.
Did Eric and Wes, they used to work together there?
Yes, I did.
Describe your children to me. Describe Isabella briefly.
Isabella is a very outgoing individual. She is a very loving, caring individual.
Okay. Describe Harley for me.
Harley is, I call her my mini-me.
Okay.
She will talk to anybody, but is a little shy at times.
Describe Leland to me.
Leland is my mama's boy. He loves to sit here with me and do anything that mom does.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about your marriage. This isn't the first time you filed for divorce, is it?
No, it is not.
How many times before this divorce filing did you file for divorce?
I have filed 2 other times.
In what counties?
The first time was Washtenaw County, and the second time was Midland County.
When did you get out of the hospital from your surgery that left you paralyzed below the waist?
March 12th, 2020.
And when you got out of the hospital, where did you go? Tell me what happened.
Wesley had picked me up that day, and we went to our marital home on South Street in Jackson.
Okay. And how long did you remain in the marital home?
Until July of 2020, July 5th.
Okay. And what happened on July 5th of 2020?
I end up going to my aunt's house with my children. because Mr. Baldwin was going to his 2-week AT for military orders. I was just learning how to be able to take care of my children properly in my wheelchair. I had not been in a wheelchair that long. So I went to my aunt and grandma's so they could help me provide more for my children.
Okay, because we're on the record, Tomasa, what's your aunt's name?
Michelle Terrasis.
And when you said you went to your aunt, where did you go to? What city or town?
Midland.
Okay. And how long were you with your aunt in Midland?
I was with my aunt until July 24th.
Okay. And what happened after July 24th?
After July 24th, I had tried going back to our marital home, was told that I was not welcome there.
Who told you that?
So I had to secure another place for myself and my children.
Miss Baldwin, who told you that?
Wesley told me that I was no longer welcome into our home
Did he tell you why?
because he was done with our relationship and wanted nothing more to do with me.
Now, did you try going back to the marital home?
I did try,
And what
and the
hap-
locks were changed on the house.
Did you ask Mr. Baldwin why the locks were changed on the house?
He would not reply to why the locks were changed.
Where did you go live after that?
I moved in with Eric Willman.
Where were your children in July of 2020?
My children were with my aunt and grandma and I until I came back, and Leland came back with me, and my girls remained with my aunt and grandma until August 20th because they were at church camp.
Okay, so at any time during July were the children with Mr. Baldwin?
In July, it was the very end of July, Mr. Baldwin had gotten Leland. July, I want to say, it was like July 26th, because that was the day after our daughter's birthday,
Okay. And how long did he have Leland for?
till August 2nd.
Okay. And when the girls returned from church camp, August 24th,
August 20th.
August 20th, where did they return to?
They returned here with me in Michigan Center.
At Michigan Center? Was there ever a time that CPS got involved with the children?
Yes.
When was that?
I had a CPS worker at my home here in Michigan Center, August 17th of 2020.
Okay. And was that a CPS investigation involving you, or was it involving someone else?
It was involving someone else and my children.
Okay. Who was it involving?
Wesley Baldwin.
And what were the allegations?
The allegations were of physical abuse against my daughters.
And did you call CPS? Did you make the allegations?
No, I did not.
Did CPS ever institute a safety plan?
Yes, they did.
What was it?
It was a safety plan of no contact from Wesley Baldwin until they had resolved the case.
Mhm. Did they eventually resolve the case?
Yes, they eventually closed the case out August 1st.
August 1st? or a different date?
Yes, August 1st.
While they were still at church camp?
August 1st. So my kids were back home in school.
Wait,
You mean September 1st, ma'am?
No, CPS
You said
had that place August 17th to October 1st.
October 1st. You kept saying August.
yeah, I kept on hearing August too, Your Honor. That's why I was confused.
That's what she said. I think she meant October 1st. Is that right, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay.
After that happened, did Mr. Baldwin, was he able to see the children after October 1st?
After, yes.
Tell me what happened then.
Wesley had reached out to me. I want to say it was mid-October. We came to an agreement that he would be able to get the kids October 26th, and they would be returned November 2nd.
Okay. And then what happened? Did he pick up the children October 26th?
Yes, he did.
And if I understand what you're saying, he was supposed to return them Sunday, November 2nd.
Yes.
Did he return them Sunday, November 2nd?
No, he did not.
What happened?
I reached out several times to Wesley asking him when the children would be coming home. There was times that he would not answer. And then I got a message from him stating that we never agreed on a time and he'd return them when he was ready.
And were the children ever returned?
I end up getting the children with an ex parte order.
For the order that I filed for you.
Yes.
And one of the things that Mr. Baldwin wants as parenting time is he wants 50-50 equal parenting time. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am.
Do you think that's in the best interest of your children?
No, I do not.
Can you explain to the judge why you don't think that's in your children's best interest?
There is a very big communication issue between Mr. Baldwin and I, and my children have come home to me upset because of physical abuse in the home with Mr. Baldwin.
Okay.
I am in the works of working with our insurance, seeking out therapists for them to talk to at this point. Isabella and Harley both now wake up every other night with night terrors, full-blown screaming, crying. It takes me 2 hours to get them to go back to sleep.
Are they fearful of going to their father?
To a point, yes. They want to see their dad, but they don't want the abuse.
When you said there are communication issues, was there ever a time that Mr. Baldwin blocked your ability to communicate with him?
Yes.
Explain to the court how.
We had phones together up until and in October, I believe it was. After that, I did not have a phone number for Wesley. The only forms of communication I did have was Facebook Messenger. And I want to say it was November 5th, maybe November 6th, he had blocked me on Facebook to where there was no form of communication at all.
Had he ever blocked your phone number from reaching his number?
No.
Did you indicate that he had changed his phone number at some point?
He had changed his phone number.
Did he ever give you his new number?
No, he did not.
Did you ever find it out?
No, I did not.
When's the last time you have communicated with Mr. Baldwin in any way, whether it be text message, email, Facebook Messenger, on the telephone? When's the last time?
The last time would have been physical contact February 19th,
Okay.
2021.
No other communication.
No.
And when's the last time the children spent any time with you?
The weekend of February 19th. So February 19th through the 21st.
And since that weekend, has Mr. Baldwin ever reached out to you to make arrangements regarding parenting, him having parenting time with the children?
No, he has not.
One of the issues that has come up is transportation of the children for parenting time. Are you able at this point in time to operate a motor vehicle?
No, I am not.
Have you applied for a license with hand controls? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do. I have to do a 3-hour course to see if I can even be qualified to drive with hand controls. And at that point, they're going to tell me, yes, I'll be able to drive, or no, I will not be able to drive.
Do you plan on pursuing that?
I do plan on doing that course as soon as I can come up with the money for it.
Yeah, let's talk about money now. Do you receive any income right now? Do you have a job, first of all?
I do not have a job, no.
When was the last time you were employed?
November of 19.
And what did you do?
I worked in a factory making car parts.
What's your education?
Some college.
Okay. How many credits? Do you have an associate's degree? What do you have?
I don't have any degrees at the moment.
Okay. What do you receive benefits from the government?
I receive Social Security
And how much do
of
you receive?
$7.94 a month,
Okay, is that SSI?
and then I receive
Hold
cash
on.
assistance.
Hold on a second. Is that SSI or is that Social Security Disability?
I do not qualify for Social Security disability according to their,
So it's
I don't know what you want to call it.
Is it SSI?
Yes, SSI.
And you receive cash assistance in what amount?
$420 a month.
Do you receive any benefits?
I do not receive any food benefits right now.
No food benefits right now?
No.
Do you know why not? Are you aware why?
No, I do not. I've been leaving messages with DHS at the moment.
Let's talk about your marriage. Was there ever any physical abuse during your marriage to Mr. Baldwin?
Yes, there was.
Mr. Lugeri, before we move into this subject, I don't think I heard the amount she gets from Social Security. Can you repeat that?
$794, Your Honor.
Thank you. I heard you say it, but I didn't write it down, and thank you. All right, go ahead.
Was there ever any physical abuse during your marriage with Mr. Baldwin?
Yes, there was.
And explain to the court who was abusing who and how.
Mr. Baldwin had laid hands on me a couple of times.
Okay. Tell us when and what happened.
April of 2017, we had gotten into an argument. He had pinned me up against the wall with his forearm against my throat.
Okay. What happened?
Another time was September of 2019. Again, he had pinned me up against a wall after I had questioned him about him talking to another female at that time. And physical abuse he had hit me in my ribs. I had bruises for a little while from that.
When you say he hit you in your ribs, how did he hit you and how many times did he hit you?
It was close-fisted 2 times.
Okay. Were the police ever called?
No, they were not.
Why not?
At that time, I was honestly afraid of him. I didn't know what he would do if I had called the police. I didn't know what would happen to him.
Did you ever seek medical treatment because of these incidents?
No, I did not.
Were there any other incidents of physical abuse or altercations?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Were there any other incidents of physical abuse or altercations?
No, just those 2 times.
Have you ever physically abused him?
No.
Was there any verbal abuse by either one of you?
Yeah.
Explain to the court what verbal abuse there was.
There was quite a bit of verbal abuse after I had become paralyzed and came home. Wesley had kept telling me that I needed to be more independent. I should have not been home yet because I didn't learn everything they could have taught me when I had graduated out of U of M's physical rehabilitation center that they have right there in the hospital. That is why I actually went home. I was still trying to learn how to live my life and take care of my children being a paraplegic.
Okay. I mean, did he ever call you names?
He's called me lazy. He's called me a deadbeat. I should be taking care of my kids better.
Anything else?
Not that I can recall. I tend to block a lot of that out anymore.
Okay. Do you physically discipline the children? Do you use physical discipline?
Yes.
You do?
I have spanked my children twice. And that is it. I have spanked them twice and put them in the corner, and then I have felt super bad afterwards. And I sat here and cried.
Okay. Well, okay.
They had laid hands on each other, and
Okay.
I spanked them and told them that it's not okay for them to be hitting each other.
Have you ever seen Mr. Baldwin when you were together physically discipline the children?
Yes.
Explain to us what happened.
I have seen him smack my children, my 2 girls, Harley and Bella, and he has spanked them repeatedly, pretty hard, to where I've seen, when we were together, it was bruises. And that is where we bumped heads on that. It would cause arguments between us.
Have you, you guys would argue about physical discipline? Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
And you're willing to agree going forward that neither one of you will use physical discipline. Are you willing to agree to that?
Yes, I am willing to agree to that.
Do you have concerns about Mr. Baldwin's girlfriend, Ella Bancroft? Do you have any concerns?
Yes, I do.
What are those concerns? Please tell the court.
I am concerned of her physically abusing my children with a wooden paddle that her dad had given her for her children, and smacking my daughter for having an attitude.
Are you asking the court that she not be allowed to discipline your children?
Yes, I'm asking the court that she not be allowed to do that.
Have any other concerns about Ms. Bancroft?
Not off the top of my head. I'm not comfortable with her being left alone with my children due to the abuse.
Well, do you have any indication that she, other than physically abusive, that she's verbally abusive? Do you have any information for the court regarding that, if any?
Isabella has told me that they have gotten into it and she's been told she's a brat, that she doesn't need to listen to her mom.
Anything else that you want the court to know
No,
about her? Now, one of the things,
no.
do you have any concern about Mr. Baldwin's home?
Yes, I do.
What concern do you have?
The concern that he has not been staying there and that there is no power on at that house.
Okay. Mr. Baldwin had confirmed with me that there's no power there, but how do you know he's not staying there? How do you know that?
How do I know that he's not been staying there?
Yeah.
I have been in contact with several people that have confirmed that he has not been living there. He had lived with April Wilkes for 3 weeks. They had been living in a hotel room on and off, and now they're staying at Miss Bancroft's parents' house.
Your Honor, if I may share the screen, do you have any knowledge as to the condition of the house other than the fact that it doesn't have electricity?
I'm sorry, what was that?
The house that he lives at with Miss Bancroft, do you have knowledge of the condition of that home other than the fact that it doesn't have electricity?
I do. I have had people send me pictures of the outside and inside of that home.
Now, Your Honor, I think I just shared a screen. I don't know if people can see it.
I can see it.
Does it look like, looks like a blue basket in a house?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bunch of items scattered on the floor.
Yes, Ms. Baldwin, this is an email actually you sent me today, a photograph. Do you know what this is?
It looks like tore up paper, clothes, one of my children's laundry baskets, and dog feces.
Is this in Mr. Baldwin's home?
Yes, it is. That is part of the living room.
So, Mr. Luger, let me get something clear here. I thought I heard testimony that said he's not currently living in that home. If he's not living there, why would the home be a concern?
Fair enough, Your Honor. I'll move on. Fair enough. I think one of the concerns was that he had been living there, and that was the state of it. And it's my understanding that's where he intends to return. So
Okay.
I think my client's concern, Your Honor, is with the cleanliness and the hygiene issues regarding the home. And I can ask you that.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Certainly. I just wanted to,
Fair,
you said the power was out. He's not living there. If he certainly is planning to live there with the home in that condition, it would be very concerning.
And Miss Baldwin, is that your concern? Is that he was living there with the house like that? What's your concern, I should say?
Yes.
Okay.
My concern is that he is living in the home like that, and that is not a safe environment for my children, especially with dog feces on the floor.
So Ms. Baldwin, while the two of you were together, still together, who was the primary caretaker for the children? You, Mr. Baldwin?
I was.
Okay. And since the two of you have been apart, who's been the primary caretaker of the children?
I have.
Even though you're confined to a wheelchair now, are you able to cook for the children?
Yes, I am.
Are you able to clean for the children?
Yes, I am.
Are you able to help them with school?
Yes, I am.
Are you able to go places with them?
Yes, I am.
Are you able to guide them in life? Talk to them?
Yes, I am.
Do you go to church?
I do not know.
Okay. Did you in the past?
When I was younger, yes.
Okay. Do the children go to church with anybody?
My girls do go to church in the summer with my aunt and grandma.
Up north in Midland.
Yes.
They go to church camp?
Yes, they do.
Are there plans for them to go to church camp this summer?
My children have wanted to go this year, but I had informed them that we needed to come to an agreement with their dad as to if he was going to see them or not. And they agreed that that was fine.
When is church camp?
In the end of June. I don't have the dates right here in front of me.
What church is it? Is it Catholic church, Baptist church? You know the denomination?
It's a Catholic church, Salvation Army in Midland.
Did you grow up in the Catholic church?
Yes, I did.
Is there any dispute here regarding religious upbringing of the girl and your son? I'm sorry.
No.
Okay.
I allowed them, if they want to believe in that, then I told them that was perfectly fine with me.
And who would you say is the children are more closely bonded with? You or their father, or is it the same?
I'd say they are more closely bonded to me.
And why is that? Why would you say that?
I have been there from day one when they were born. I was the one constantly taking care of them, doing things with them. Wesley would, when he wasn't so busy with work or taking on extra work hours, but that was very rarely.
Okay. Do you believe that you have the capacity to give the children's love, affection, and guidance?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe Mr. Baldwin has that same capacity?
I want to believe that he does.
Okay. Do you think that you give them more love and guidance, or the same as Mr. Baldwin?
I believe that I will give them more.
Why do you believe that?
Just because like I said, I have been the one through thick and thin with them, especially here within the last about 3 months now. There has been no communication with Wesley. I had to prove to my kids that mom was blocked from Facebook. I had to call the number that I did have for Wesley on my phone and show them that that's not his number.
Okay. Are you all right?
Yeah, I've got, my allergies are acting up. It's allergy season for me.
Yeah, me too. I know what that's like. What about, what do you do to encourage a relationship between the children and their father?
My girls, especially Harley, has told me that she did not want to go to her dad's because she does not like the abuse. she doesn't get to spend time with her dad like she wants to. And I've told them that they should go see their dad. That's their dad, and he's trying to do his best, no matter what's going on in his home.
Okay. Do you ever badmouth their dad to the kids?
No, I do not.
Have you ever heard him badmouth you to the kids?
I have not heard that, no.
And now you live with Eric. Can you say his last name again?
Willman,
Wilman. And how long have the two of you been living together now?
we have been living together since the end of July 2020.
Okay. And is it, can you describe that relationship? Is it a stable relationship? Is it a volatile relationship? What's it like?
This is a stable relationship. Whenever I'd like to go somewhere, especially take the kids, on his weekends off, we take the kids to the park, we take them fishing. We actually just have a camping trip planned, as my kids have never been camping, so this is going to be a new adventure for them.
You have a camping trip planned for this weekend, Memorial Day weekend?
Yes,
And where are you going?
to the Mount Pleasant campground.
Okay. And you're going to be able to do that even though you're confined to a wheelchair? I'm just asking, I'm not implying that you can't.
Yes, it's going to be a new adventure for me too, being in a wheelchair, but we are going to make it work.
Are you seeing a therapist or anything like that for any reason?
I am seeing a therapist, yes. I do have issues handling the fact that I become a paraplegic just because I don't understand how it happened or why. And I have not gotten those answers yet. And all the abuse physically and mentally in mine and Wesley's relationship.
You're working through that in therapy?
What was that?
You're working through those issues in therapy?
Yes.
Are you finding therapy helpful?
Yes, I have.
Do you think those things that you're dealing with, do they affect your ability to parent your children?
No, they do not.
And
They make it a little more challenging, but me personally, I like a little more of a challenge.
okay. How are the children doing right now? How are they doing?
They are doing really good. They're
Okay.
happy. They're constantly wanting to play, do new things, try new things. Now that this weather's nice, they're constantly wanting to go outside and play.
You know, and Tommaso, I don't think I've ever asked you this, but I'm, and I should have, and I apologize. But how have they adjusted to you being in a? How have they adjusted to it?
They're adjusting. My girls ask a lot of questions just because they grew up seeing mom being able to walk. They ask me all kinds of different questions on if mom's ever going to be able to walk again. Is mom going to be able to stand again? I do stand with assistance from time to time, and they love it. They'll sit here and talk to me while I'm standing. I am in the process of getting leg braces so that I can physically stand with my kids and deal a little more with them.
Now, one of the issues, there was a list of items that we had sent Mr. Baldwin that you would like back, and there's some property issues that, although not significant values, so to speak, they are important. Let me get to that real quickly. You and Mr. Baldwin, do you have any retirement accounts?
No,
Do you guys share a bank account now?
no, we do not.
Do you own any vehicles?
I do not know.
Did you own any during the marriage that are still around?
No,
You guys, I think you don't have any investment accounts or anything like that.
no,
You guys don't own any real estate.
no.
And in terms of personal property, did you have an opportunity to get some of your personal property?
Some of it was given to me. I want to say that would have been August,
Okay.
but at that time I was not allowed into the home to retrieve my property. I was not allowed onto the property to get it. Wesley had put it outside and had told Eric that he needed to come get it.
When you say your home, that's the house we saw the pictures of before. That's a rental, right?
That is a rental, yes.
Okay. Hold on. Just give me 1 second. Ron.
So while he's looking for that, ma'am, let me ask you, the house that I saw the picture, was that the marital home at one time?
Yes.
So-
Yes, it was.
So that's the home that he locked you out of.
Yes, Your Honor.
Was the home ever in that condition while you were living there?
Not in that condition, no.
The particular picture I saw, when was that picture taken?
That picture was taken today.
Today, how were you able to get that picture?
That picture was sent to me from April.
And remind me again who April is.
April is Wesley's cousin through marriage.
Her name is April Wilkes, Wilkes.
You can go ahead, Mr. Lujara, if you're ready.
Yep, I'm going to share this email, Your Honor. Is this list of, does everybody see an email that it says a Gmail list of ideas and debts? I just want to make sure.
I do.
Okay. Now, this is, just so the court should know, this is something that was forwarded to Mr. Baldwin. So he has this. I just want to go through it briefly with Mrs. Baldwin. Okay. Tomasa, can you see this? This email that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. And it says, here's the list of ideas. Do you mean items here? Did you mean to type items? I am requesting back from Mr. Wesley Baldwin. You see that?
Yes.
Okay. And it says, the rent center debt was an agreement that we had a week before Mr. Baldwin told me he was told he was seeing Miss Bancroft. Any questions? So this is what you'd like back. My dad's desk with the glass top and chair. Is that in what was once the marital home? Okay. And
Yes, it was.
does everybody know what your dad's desk is?
Yes.
Okay. I take it your dad has passed away?
Yes, my dad passed away January 13th of 2013.
Okay. My dad's sticker collection that was in my dad's desk in a White Owl cigar box. You mean like stickers like you could peel and put on On a refrigerator?
Yes, they were from Snap-on, Mac Tool,
Okay.
so they are pretty old stickers.
Okay, my dad's Harley Davidson zip-up hoodie, gray with purple, black, and gold Harley logo. You want that back, right?
Yes. Yes.
Now, my dad's vintage Cold War military bed set, bed frame, 2 nightstands, 1 tall dresser. What is a Cold War military bed set? I don't know what that is.
That is a bed set that the higher up soldiers during the Cold War had actually had access to and would use instead of cots for sleeping on the floor.
Was your dad a soldier?
So like a staff sergeant, a major, stuff like that.
Was your dad in the military?
My dad was not, but his father was, so my grandfather.
So was this given from your grandfather to your dad?
Yes.
Okay. And I think one day you might want to give it to your children.
Yes.
Okay. My Nightmare Before Christmas collection from my dad. What is that? That movie?
It is, yes, it's a movie.
Okay. Jack the
I'm
Rhino-
very into The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay. Are these
So, Mr. Loguri, if you could scroll back, you missed the unopened Monopoly collection.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. At least someone's paying good attention. Thank you, Your Honor. I'm sorry about that. My dad's unopened Monopoly collection. Tell me about that.
My dad collected every single Monopoly game known to man. From the first game to the last collection he got would have been Christmas of 2018. And I had a good 20 of those unopened out of the collection. They were split among 5 of us kids.
Hold on a second. You said 2018. I thought you said your dad died in 2013. I'm confused now.
I'm sorry, yes. I have a hard time with my dad's death. So I still think he's here every once in a while.
So when did your dad die again?
January of 2013, because
Okay.
see, Bella was born in July and she wasn't even old yet. She was just a baby.
Okay, I understand. So, but what was that about 2018 then? A Monopoly? You confused me. I'm sorry.
I'm getting my anxieties acting up. Sorry. So every
I hope I'm
Christmas
not
we would
making
get my
you
dad's collection.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So it would have been 2012, not 18. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay, so they're the items under My Nightmare Before Christmas. Signed monster truck framed poster with the post from Facebook that was my dad's. I had given to my dad about 10 years ago and got back after he passed away. So that's a poster.
Yeah.
And it's framed?
It is framed and signed by 3 or 4 of the actual monster truck people that used to come out to the Jackson County Fair.
Okay. How about all 3 handmade signs I had made myself? What are they signs of?
They are sticker signs of inspirational quotes.
Do you know what they say?
It's been, I can't remember what they say off the top of my head. I have a picture of them somewhere.
Okay. Isabella's, that's your oldest child, first Santa picture
Yeah.
in a frame with their handprint that was given to my dad. Okay.
Yeah.
Dad's old ship frame picture, an old building frame picture that I had hanging up in the hallway at the South Street house. Signed little Nicky
Yes.
poster, signed by Adam Sandler, that was under our bed in our bedroom after the frame got destroyed. You somehow have a autographed little Nicky poster by Adam Sandler? How'd you get that?
Yes, I do.
How'd you get it?
My dad had actually gotten that poster, and when he passed away, that was left to me.
Whole DVD collection, all that had come from my dad anyways. Okay? Penguin collection. Are we talking about stuffed penguins, ceramic penguins? I hope we're not talking about.
These are ceramic, glass, stuffed.
Let me guess, they were from your dad, or no?
Yes, I've been collecting those since I was 8 years old.
Okay. How about dragon knife collection? What's that all about?
They have dragons on them. They're like a pocket. It's like a pocket knife.
Okay. Was it your
Just a
dad?
collection.
Was it is it something from your dad or something you did on your own?
No, that's on my own.
Okay. My daughter Paige's ashes that are in the white box, along with Paige's memory box with everything in it from the hospital. Wes does have a set of ashes. If he wants, I'm okay with splitting her ashes with him, but I want her original ash box, okay? My dog and cat ashes. How many dogs are we talking about and how many cats?
1 dog, 1 cat.
Okay? And what were their names? What was the dog's name?
Chub Chub,
Okay, and the cat's name?
Mona.
And list the debts that I would like Wesley to be responsible for. $5,000 rent-a-center debt. That was an agreement with Jackson Courts end of June. Wesley does have the bed, nightstand, 2 dressers, the girl's bed and nightstand, and the 75-inch TV. I do not. I was a co-signer on this. Are you saying there that as it relates to the rent-a-center debt, that he has all the items from rent-a-center? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. And then $3,208 preferred credit debt for a vacuum air purifier that Wesley has. I do not. This has hit my credit. I was a co-signer. Does he still have the air purifier?
As far as I know, I do not have that.
Let me ask it another way. Do you have it?
No.
Okay. And then there's that's quite a phone bill, a $2,072 AT&T phone bill that we had put in my name after I was released from the hospital, March 12, 2020. We had just got new phones, July 4th, 2020, just before Wesley said he was done and ending our relationship. Wesley has not paid the phone bill since July 4th, 2020. I did not have a way to pay for the phone bill at that time, and now this bill has hit my credit. Phone was put in my name because Wesley could not get the phone in his name at that time. So do you know if this debt has been paid upon, Ms. Baldwin?
No, it is not.
Okay. Are you still getting notices on it?
I'm getting notices on my credit for it.
And then it looks underneath here, I forgot to add in my posters on my high school graduation and I'm posters of memories from childhood that was behind the desk in the living room. It looks like I'm home, I home. Okay, anything else that you want from the house?
No.
Okay. Do you think you're going to be able to work anytime in the near future?
More than likely not.
Okay.
My doctor does not recommend that I go back to work due to my heart condition.
Okay. And what is your heart condition? I know you're in a wheelchair, but you said you have heart failure?
I now have heart failure and AFib from the surgery.
Okay. And is anybody, other than Eric, is anybody else like coming in to assist you, cook or clean or anything like that? Any services like that?
My mom does come every Friday to help me out a little bit more, to basically reach the stuff that I can't reach. Helping clean the windows, the dust from the top of the windows, the dust up the fans. Other than that, no, I do still have an in-home nurse that comes in because I did get a pressure ulcer while in the hospital that is almost completely healed at this point.
Ms. Baldwin, who do you think out of the two of you, who do you think was at fault for the breakdown of the marriage, if at all?
I was.
What's that?
Sorry about that.
Who do you think was at fault for the breakdown of the marriage?
I believe Mr. Baldwin was.
Why do you say that?
After I had become paralyzed, his demeanor towards me had completely changed. And then beginning of July, he had finally told me that he had been seeing somebody else and had been seeing her for a while.
Okay. And that somebody else, actually, I think we attached him to a motion that had been filed with the court. Did she send you text messages?
Yes, she did.
Were they nice text messages?
No, they were not.
How would you describe them?
Very rude and disrespectful.
Okay. Now, in terms of other financial resources, what happened with the COVID money? That there was a $2,400 check. What happened with the COVID money?
So the second stimulus check had hit Mr. Baldwin's account January 4th, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
It had hit his account. I did not know anything about it. I have not received it. He has not said anything to me about it.
And how much was that check?
$2,400.
Did Mr. Baldwin give you any part of that check?
No, he did not.
Okay. Did the two of you receive an earlier check, a check prior to that, before separating?
I received the first check.
Was that before you guys separated?
Yes, we received that in April.
Of 2020.
Yes.
So what would you like the court to do with this $2,400 check that came in January of 2021 that you have testified you did not receive any of it? What would you like the court to do with that?
I would like that check back. We actually have been filing separate for 8 years. We do not file taxes together, and I claim the children. So that's children for my money, or money for my children. Excuse me, because that is part of their money.
Have you been receiving child support?
I have only received 6 checks from child support. The last check that I received was 5/2 of $203.13.
That's the last check you received?
Yes.
What else would you like the court to know in making a decision in this matter, Ms. Baldwin?
I think that's it, other than I am very concerned for my children's well-being, physically and mentally. I can understand with Wes doing his training or whatever the case may have been, but at the same time, he could have reached out to me and told me what was going on and never did.
Now,
I understand his work schedule changed. He still could have reached out to me and never did.
Now, have you guys in the last year been able to co-parent the children in the last year?
No, we have not.
Are you asking for sole legal custody? Are you asking for that?
Yes, I am.
Why are you asking for that?
I believe that Wes does not have the best interest of the children.
Who takes the children to doctor's appointments, things like that? Make sure they do that.
I do. I make all their appointments. I take them to their doctors. I'm the one that finds us a ride when we got to go to the doctors, to the dentist.
Were there any issues with the children performing in school when they were in Wes's care? Were there any issues there?
There was issues. There was times that the kids were not doing their online schooling.
Okay. When Wes was communicating with you, would he communicate with you respectfully or no?
Most of the time, no.
Okay, how would he communicate with you?
With a lot of disrespect and it just being rude.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know?
No.
Your Honor, that's all I have for her now.
So, Ms. Baldwin, you mentioned the two initial stimulus checks. I think the first was $600 each, and that was received while you were still together. The second
Yeah.
was $1,200 each, and he ended up with all of that. My understanding is that there have also been some stimulus payments relating to children. Have you received any of those?
No.
Do you know whether or not they've been sent? Do you know whether or not Mr. Baldwin has received any of those stimulus payments that are intended for families with children?
The second one he did receive.
Well, the one you mentioned, the $2,400, that wasn't for
That is
children.
that's with me and my children on it.
No, you'd have gotten $2,400 as a couple, whether you had children or not.
We didn't file together. We filed separate taxes.
But
We
Your
did
Honor,
not file taxes together.
Tomas,
Yeah,
you're bringing up a good issue, Your Honor, because one of the things that we had indicated to the court, and Ms. Baldwin did check on, if I just may interrupt, what happened? Did you find out what happened with the $5,600 payment that included the children recently, to Ms. Baldwin? Did you find out? Did you do an investigation as to the $5,600?
Yes, I did call the IRS. They did a trace on the payment. Somebody did receive the check, but had not cashed it yet. So they voided that check and they are sending me that money.
The $5,600. Now, what the
Yeah.
judge is asking is, I understand what the judge is asking, and it may be a misunderstanding on your part, Ms. Baldwin. Regardless of what that $2,400 was for, let's assume half of it was yours. Did you ever get your $1,200 from Mr. Baldwin? That's my question.
No, I did not.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, if you want, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, that's good. You covered what was my concern. So, Mr. Baldwin, are there some questions you would like me to ask Ms. Baldwin?
No.
Okay, any further proofs from you, Mr. LeJury?
Well, I was going to call Mr. Baldwin, but if he wants to make a statement first, then I can cross-examine him. Your Honor.
No, that's fine. You've got every right to do that, and it's probably easier if you do it that way. And you can certainly do that as part of your case in chief.
Yeah, well, Your Honor, just to kind of be respectful here, And Mr. Baldwin, would you like me to start asking you questions, or would you like to say something before I ask you questions?
It doesn't matter. I'm just trying to see how long this is going to prolong because I do have to work today at 4 o'clock.
All right, well, let's get rolling then. Mr. Baldwin, I need to have you raise your right hand, please, if you would. You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can put your hand down now. State your full name, please.
Wesley Adam Baldwin.
Go ahead, Mr. Liljurai.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Baldwin, where are you currently living?
My current address is the South Street address, but we are currently staying on Knollwood until we can get power back and get everything straightened up at the house.
Okay, who are you living with on Knollwood? I take it Knollwood's a street in Jackson, or where's that?
Yes. It's over off of Page Ave near Detman.
Okay. And who do you, and how large is that house? How many bedrooms, that sort of thing?
It's a 4-bedroom house. And currently it's with Ella Bancroft's mom and dad at the moment.
And Ella Bancroft, what does she do for a living?
She's a stay-at-home mom.
Okay. And how many children does she have?
She has 4 total, but she only has 2 all the time.
Okay. So she has 4 children total. How old are her children?
12, 9, 7, and 3.
Okay. When you say she has 4 total, but 2 of them all the time, how old are the ones that she has all the time?
The 2 youngest.
7 and 3. And how often are the 12 and 9-year-old with her?
Every other weekend.
Every other weekend. So does dad have primary physical custody of the other 2, the 2 older 2?
As far as the courts, no, but he does have them during the week.
Okay. Okay. How long have you been with Miss Bancroft? How long have you been dating her?
Since July 10th of 2020.
How long prior to that did you know her? Strike that. When did you first meet her?
Well, she used to work at a gas station that I went to every day for work, so I can't really give an exact time because she was working there.
You heard Ms. Baldwin testify that during the marriage, you were physically abusive towards her. You heard her testify to that?
Yes.
Did you ever put your neck against her throat?
No.
Did you ever touch her during the marriage?
No.
So, Mr. Liljurai,
Yeah.
I think what you said is, did you ever put your neck against her throat? You might want to ask that differently.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Thank you. Did you ever put your arm or hand against her throat?
No.
Have you ever hit her?
No.
Never. Never slapped her, punched her, kicked her, pushed her, nothing like that. Is that your testimony?
I have never physically abused her.
So are you telling the court that she was lying?
Yes.
So you're saying she's lying about the abuse?
Correct.
Have you ever physically disciplined your children?
I have spanked them before, yes.
Have you ever used a belt?
No.
Have you ever used a paddle?
No.
Have you ever used anything but your hand?
No. I have physically been abused as a child, and I know what it's like.
Okay, but you have spanked them.
Yes.
You spanked all 3 of them.
I wouldn't per se all 3 of them because Leland is way too young to do something like that for.
Has Miss Bancroft ever used physical discipline with the children?
No, she does not physically discipline my kids at all. She refuses to because she doesn't want any issues or any drama with Tomasa. And she refuses to do it, period.
CPS, while this divorce has been going on, CPS was involved in the fall or late summer of 2020 with her kids, right? There's
Yes.
a CPS thing?
Well,
And,
it was for all the children.
okay. And what was the one that was for all the children about? What was that one about?
It was supposedly allowing the kids to play in the road.
Okay.
And
And,
that was proven untrue, and they closed the case completely.
okay. Is this the road out by, on South Street?
Correct.
Right? And there was a CPS investigation regarding you in the summer of 2020. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And you recall what that CPS investigation, what the purpose of that was? What was the complaint?
Well, I was told 3 different things, so I'm not exactly sure which one it was about, but it was closed and proven untrue as well.
Well, what was your understanding as to what it was about?
I was told that it was physical abuse, and then I was also told that it was possibly sexual abuse
By whom against whom?
by me against my children.
Okay. And was there ever a time where you blocked Miss Baldwin from your Facebook?
On Facebook, yes, because she was told that if it didn't involve my children, not to contact me. And she was continuing to blow my Facebook up every day of things that did not involve my children.
Like what?
I couldn't recall exactly. There was times of she was begging for me to come back, begging me not to leave. And it was to the point where I specifically told her if it's not involving my children, my children's health, or anything like that, she wasn't to contact me, and she proceeded to do so.
Did you ever
And so,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
and so she got blocked because of the fact of she wasn't respecting me and not responding to me or blowing my Facebook up or my phone, that it was specifically supposed to be involving my children only, and she still proceeded to do otherwise.
Have you ever been disrespectful to her in text messages?
I have, but that was because she was being disrespectful as well.
Have you ever called her by the B word?
No,
You've never called, you know what I'm talking about, right? It rhymes
I don't recall.
You don't recall? You might have, right?
I might have, but she's called me things too. So
Okay, I understand.
it played both ways. And if I did, it was probably because she had said something that had set me over the edge and called me something that she shouldn't have. And
Are you saying she made you angry?
yes,
Okay.
because she doesn't listen when told to not contact me unless it involves my kids, and she would continually progress in texting me or calling me or whatever it was, and it would piss me off because she has been told not to contact me
Okay.
unless it regarded the kids.
What else doesn't she listen about? What else doesn't she listen about?
When she was in the hospital, all the nurses and doctors were trying to tell her that she needed to stay, and she specifically said, no, it's time for me to leave. I'm done. I'm not dealing with you guys anymore. I'm done trying. And the doctors were trying to keep her a little bit longer to help progress her in her current situation, and she just would not take their advice.
After she was confined to the wheelchair, did you call her lazy?
I have.
Did you call her?
And
Hold on, I'm gonna ask you just some yes or no questions. Well, I'll let you
okay.
finish later. Did you call her a deadbeat?
No,
Have you ever called her even before then by the C word? You know what I mean by the C word?
never,
Never ever?
because that is very disrespectful. That's
Are
one
you,
thing
are you
I would
sure?
not.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay. Um, did you block her from your cell phone?
I did after quite some time of her continually blowing my phone up of things that were other than involving my children.
Well, Mr. Baldwin, I'm curious, if you had blocked her from Facebook and you had blocked her from your cell phone, if there was an emergency regarding the children, how would she have gotten a hold of you?
I have contacted her off of my girlfriend's phone to where she had that phone number. Whether she saved it or not, she has had that phone number, and that phone number has never changed.
When did you heard Miss Baldwin testify that when she came back sometime in July of 2020, you told her not to come to the house is that correct that you told her not to come to the house on South Street? Was that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Was it correct that she said you had told her that you had changed the locks? Was that correct, Mr. Baldwin?
Yes, the locks were changed.
Okay. And was Miss Bancroft living with you at that time? Let's say July 24th, were the two of you living at the South Street residence?
No,
When did the two of you start living together? Was it before then?
no, it was after I had come home from my AT training and Tommaso was already living with Eric.
Okay. Explain to the court what AT training means, just so we have a complete record.
AT training is a 2-week military training exercise where you're gone for 2 weeks total. You don't come home. The only thing you do is, your phone, contact home, talk to people at home. That's it. We're usually in Grayling, Battle Creek, or like this year, we were on the road through multiple states.
And that's because you're a member of the Michigan National Guard.
Correct.
Well, thank you for your service. And how long have you been a member of the Michigan National Guard?
Since 2005.
And what is your MOS? What's your job?
I'm a truck driver.
And how many weekends a month do you do that?
1 week in a month.
Okay. And where do you typically do your weekend a month?
It depends on what's on the training schedule, whether we're home stationed here in Jackson to where we can go home every night, or if we're in Battle Creek or Camp Grayling.
And when you go to Camp Grayling, when do you come back? Late Sunday night or Monday morning?
It's usually we're back in Jackson by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're released by 5-6 o'clock at night.
Okay. And when do you leave? On what time? On Friday or Thursday?
Friday morning.
Okay. How early?
We report at 08.
And how much do you get paid from the military? Tell us about your military pay in a year.
It varies because if you get promoted, it changes everything. But it's kind of like a salary by your time in service, time in grade, and grade is your rank. And so it could range from the lowest E1 private is about $200 for a weekend to like where I'm at, it's $320 something
A weekend?
for the weekend. Correct.
Yeah. What is your grade? What is your rank?
I'm an E4.
Before? And how long have you been in that grade?
I've been in that grade for about 2 years now.
Did you say 2 or 3? I'm sorry, I didn't.
2.
2. And how long would you normally remain in that grade? About 3 years?
It depends.
Okay.
Because you have to go to certain schooling to progress to the next rank. So once you have that school down, then it's however long from there. And it just depends on what rank you are and what the regulations are for the next step.
And the AT training, you get extra pay for that, right?
Yes, we get active duty pay, and that's $1,900 for 2 weeks.
$1,900 for 2 weeks. And I think last time we were in court last week, you indicated that You were gone for a month? Is that right?
No,
Okay,
I was on orders in March from March till 1st till April 16th in
okay.
preparation for these out of state AT missions.
Thank you for explaining that. Do you get pay while you're on orders?
Yes.
What do you receive?
For the 2 weeks, because pay is the 1st and the 15th of every month if you're on full-time orders.
Okay.
And it would have been the same amount of $1,900 for every 2 weeks.
So you were on orders, just so I'm clear, because I want to get the math right, okay? I want to be fair to you. Just so I'm clear, you were on orders for 2 weeks and you got $1,900 for that. And then you were doing what you do for 2 weeks and you got $1,900 for that. So for that month, and let's say March, April, whatever it was, you received $3,800. Do I understand that correctly?
Correct.
Okay. And that's in addition to the 320 a week, once a weekend you get, correct?
Correct. And those time frames are not always available. The most generic is 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the summer. And then if they have extra training or preparation for something, then they put us on orders for those. So for the March 1st through the 15th of April or 16th of April, those were just extra things that they needed people to do to make the mission successful for our AT. So that's not guaranteed to happen every year.
Okay, you explained that well. Thank you. So having done this recently, do you still have to do the 2 weeks that are traditionally done in August at Camp Grayling?
No, that's what when we did the court last week, that's what we were on, was our AT.
Because you're in the Guard, do you have access to TRICARE?
I do, but I have to pay for it.
And how much is it? Do you know?
For individual, it's $200 and something, and if I went with a family plan, it's almost $600.
600?
Yes.
Are your kids covered on health insurance now?
Through me, no, but I believe they are on state aid through Tomasa.
Okay.
Unless that has changed. That's how it's always been. They've been on that state aid.
Do you have, because you've been in there so long, do you have a vested retirement now with the National Guard?
I have what's called a TSP. It's a thrift savings plan because I have so many years. I couldn't take the traditional 401k that they just brought out a couple of years ago because I'm over that 10-year mark, where if I would have started a 401k, it wouldn't have been necessarily worth it because there wouldn't be the equivalent to a 401k actually there, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do understand what you're saying. Mr. Baldwin, how much money do you have in your thrift savings plan?
I'm not sure at the moment because they actually do take the child support directly out of that, as well as my military checks and my civilian job checks. They take everything out of there. So I'm not sure exactly what's left in my TSP.
Okay. What was the highest amount that's ever been in there?
The highest was 6,000 or 7,000. And then they started taking child support out of that because it was so large. They were taking larger chunks out for child support.
Do you have any other retirement accounts with the military, with the National Guard?
No.
Do you have any investment accounts?
No.
Any other retirement accounts that aren't military related?
No.
Any pensions from any prior employment?
No.
Let's talk about your employment for a second. Until recently, you worked for Phelps Towing in Jackson?
Correct.
And how long had you worked for Phelps Towing?
Almost 2 years.
And who do you work for now? For whom do you work?
I work at Jimmy's Towing.
Jimmy's, and that's in Jackson too?
Correct.
And how much do you get paid at Jimmy's Towing? How do you get paid there?
I make $16.50 an hour.
And how many hours do you get overtime?
It depends on if I work more days or not. Typically, I only work Tuesday through Saturday, 8 to midnight. Or 4 to midnight, sorry.
4 to midnight. Do you get a shift premium?
No,
Do you get commissions?
I do if I choose to work after midnight. I can either stay on the clock or I can take commission. It's completely up to me on how I do that.
And is that the same? Is it the same kind of, how much were you making an hour at Phelps Towing?
16.
So you're making a little bit more an hour here, 50 cents more an hour. And you had commissions at Phelps too, correct?
Correct.
And you have commissions here.
Yes, but I've only used it twice since I've been here.
Do you expect?
And that's only
I'm sorry.
the only reason that I took it is because our third shifter had a funeral today. So I covered his shift last night. So I took a truck home last night and ran commission calls this morning. But that's the only times that I've ever done commission here.
Otherwise, you select the hourly amount.
Yes.
And do you expect to make as much money as you made at Phelps at your new job?
No,
Why would you take a job that pays less?
because it's a set schedule, set hours.
Okay.
At Phelps, I was working from 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. And then I was on call every night because I was their only heavy duty operator for semis. So I didn't actually get nights off because I had to come in for that. But over here at Jimmy's, I'm set schedule Tuesday through Saturday, 4 to midnight. That's it. And then if I choose to come in on Sunday or Monday, if they need somebody to fill in, I can take that opportunity to fill in. Or on holidays, like this coming Monday is a holiday, I'm scheduled to work because I'm the lower man on the totem pole and I have to cover the holiday.
If you work more than 40 hours, you get time and a half or double time?
Yes.
What
Time and a half.
time and a half? Have you
Yes.
have you received I'm sorry, and forgive me, Mr. Baldwin. How long have you been at Jimmy's Towing? I know you told me and I already forgot.
I went to Jimmy's Towing on April 19th.
April 19th. Okay. And
And when I was training with them on first shift, yes, I had some overtime on the first check. Maybe I might have on the second check, I don't remember. But that was because I was first shift training to learn their paperwork and the way their towing app worked.
and you're working the 4 to 12 shift. Since you started doing that, have you received overtime?
No,
Not even once
no.
in the last month or so. How long have you been working the 4 to 12 midnight shift?
4 to midnight, I worked for a week and a half, and then I went on orders for our AT. And then I'm back at work now.
Oh, so is this, how many weeks have you been back at work?
What's that?
How many weeks have you been back? When were you done with your military commitment? When was?
On Tuesday, and I went back to work yesterday.
Oh, okay. So you just got back to work. You're like,
Yes.
I got you. Okay. Is it true that the last time the children had parenting time with you was the weekend of February 19th or thereabouts?
Yeah, somewhere in that time frame, yes.
And when we were in court last week talking on the record regarding the partial objection to the FOC recommendation, one of the things I think you had brought up, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, was that you didn't see the kids because under the current order, you weren't able to. Is that right?
Yes, that is correct because of me being on military orders and military training, if I were to get the kids, that would have went against the court order.
Did you ever reach out to Miss Baldwin and try to work something out with her so you could see the kids?
I don't have a phone number for her.
Does she have a phone number for you?
She has the one, if she still has it, she still would have Ella's phone number. Yes, if she had it. I don't know if she saved it or not, but as far as for me, my physical phone, no, because of the reason of blocking her, because of texting me about things that weren't involved in the kids. That's why I hadn't done it yet. And it was told that if she needed it or wanted it, that the court, I was requesting that the court would say, yes, I need to give it to her with the understanding from the court in a court order of, if it doesn't, the only time she's to contact me is if it was involving the children.
Let me
Because
interject here. I'm happy to make that a part of an order. I think the parents need to communicate, and I agree. It should be limited strictly to the children. So, Mr. Baldwin, I know you're supposed to report to work at 4:00. Are you at work right now?
I'm not at work right now. I have a truck at home because I covered for the third shift guy last night. So as soon as 4:00 hits, I start the truck and I'm at work.
All right. I was trying to avoid keeping you late to work. Looks like it looks like we're not going to finish today, Mr. Lujuri. While I've got just a few minutes before Mr. Baldwin is late, I thought maybe we could try to identify a time to finish up.
Sure.
Let me take a look at the upcoming calendar. I'd like to get this done sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So let's just plan on that next Tuesday, June 1st at 1:00. This is the matter of Baldwin versus Baldwin, continuation of trial. Mr. Lujuri, I think you were questioning Mr. Baldwin when we had to break.
That's correct, Your Honor.
You may continue. Mr. Baldwin, you understand that you're still under oath?
Yes.
Good afternoon, Mr. Baldwin. How are you?
I'm all right.
Where are you living right now?
Right now, we're currently staying on Knollwood.
And is that with your significant other's family?
Yes, with her mom and dad.
When do you plan to move to the South Street address?
We're hoping within the next couple of weeks.
Does that home currently have electricity?
No, that's what we're working on.
How are you working on that? What are you doing?
We're working on the financial side of things for that because one of my military checks has not come in yet. So that's kind of stopped us from doing that. So I had to get back to work to come up with the money to get the deposit and everything paid on to consumers.
You saw those photographs I posted last time of the interior of the house?
Okay.
Were those an accurate depiction of what the house looked like last week?
Of what it looked like last week? Yes.
Are there dog feces in the house?
There was, yes.
How long were those dog feces there?
Like a couple weeks.
Were there dogs living in the house unattended?
No.
Were there dogs living in the house attended?
Yes.
How many dogs were living there?
We had one.
At some point in time, did you have 2 dogs?
At some point, yes, we did have 2 dogs.
Did a dog?
But we had to get rid of the dogs because we lost power, so we had to ship them off to a few friends.
Did one of the dogs die there?
Not that I know of.
Not that you know of?
No.
Were the dogs living there and you going back there and checking on them intermittently?
Yes.
How long was that going on for?
About 3 weeks. So we can find somebody to take the dogs.
And there's only one dog now.
There's no dogs now.
When there were dogs living there, how many dogs were living there most recently?
I guess I don't understand what this has to do with anything on the divorce.
Well, I want to know whether or not a dog died there because of neglect in the last 3 months.
I don't believe so, but I've been gone for a while, so I'm not sure of what's going on here. But like I said, I don't understand what this has to do with the divorce.
Are the dogs the
Well,
children?
Mr. Baldwin, I'm the one that makes decisions on relevancy. It relates to the condition of the house, so how much weight I might give something like that is up to me, but I think the condition of your home certainly bears on one of the issues I have to decide in this case. So you should answer the questions.
How many dogs live there?
There was 2 total.
What kind of dogs?
I couldn't tell you exactly what kind of dogs they were.
How big were they?
I know one was a shepherd mix. That's all I know.
And you indicated last time you testified that Miss Bancroft, your significant other, that she's a stay-at-home mom. Is that right?
Yes.
Does she receive child support? And how many? She has 4 children. You indicated, correct?
Yes.
And how many fathers of those children are there? At least 2, right?
Yes. There's 3 total.
3 total fathers, correct?
Yes.
And does she receive child support from any of those fathers?
Yes.
From how many of the fathers does she receive child support?
2.
How much does she receive?
I don't know.
Do you financially support Miss Bancroft?
Yes.
Is Miss Bancroft currently pregnant?
Yes.
Do you believe it to be your child?
I do.
When is that child due?
August.
Do you have a date, a due date?
It's changed more than once, so I'm not exactly 100% sure on what day, because it changes.
So now this would be Miss Bancroft's 5th child
Yes.
with a 4th dad. You would be dad number 4, is that correct?
Yes.
And you have 3 children with Miss Baldwin here, correct?
Yes.
And you have children with yet another person, or a child with yet another person?
We're trying to figure out if that's actually true or not.
Okay. How are you trying to figure that out?
Well, I'm trying to do a DNA test.
How old is that child that you're trying to do a DNA test on?
I believe around 11. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that child in 8-9 years.
Is that case out of Jackson County or another county?
Jackson.
Do you have a lawyer in that case?
No.
Do you know who an April Wilkes is?
Yes.
Who is she?
My cousin.
Your cousin? Have you ever watched her children?
Have I? No.
Has Miss Bancroft ever watched her children?
Yes.
Has Miss Wilkes ever been at your home while you're caring for the 3 children in this case?
I'm sure at some point she's been at my house while they were there.
Does she have access to your home, the
No,
house on South Street?
no.
Would you socialize with her in the past?
I have in the past, yes.
How recently?
We stopped talking when I left beginning of May.
This May, just a month ago, within the
Yes.
last month?
Yes,
You stopped talking at that point in time?
yes.
Has she ever observed you parenting your children?
I'm sure at some point.
Your Honor, I have no further questions of Mr. Baldwin.
So, Mr. Baldwin, well, let me ask you, Mr. Lugeri, do you have other witnesses after Mr. Baldwin?
Yes, Your Honor, I have one more witness, and her name's April Wilkes, and I just texted her to log in. She is working today.
She is in the waiting room right now. So, Mr. Baldwin, you have the right at this time to supplement whatever answers you provided to Mr. Lugeri with your own testimony. Normally at this point, your attorney would have a chance to question you. Since you don't have an attorney, we simply give you a chance. You don't have to say anything now. You can wait until it's your turn to present your case to say anything to me. Once we're done with all of Mr. Lugeri's witnesses, then I will turn to you and you get to make your presentation at that time. So you could certainly elaborate on any of your answers to Mr. Lugeri's questions, or you can wait until it's your turn. The choice is up to you.
I really don't have anything to say other than I would like this to be done.
Okay. All right. Well, let's let in the next witness then, Mr. Lugeri.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down now. I'd like you to state your full name, spell your last name, please.
April Ann Wilkes, Wilkes.
Go ahead, Mr. Lugeri.
Miss Wilkes, it looks like you're taking a break from work. Where do you work, ma'am?
I work at HB Fuller.
What do you do there?
I load and unload semis.
How long have you worked there?
8 years.
Do you know Tomasa Baldwin and Wesley Baldwin?
Yes, I do.
How do you know them?
Wesley is married into my family. His family is my family kind of thing. We're like 8th cousins or something like that.
So when he described you as his cousin, is that fairly accurate?
Yes, we've always called each other family.
How long have you known Mr. Baldwin?
Since before he married Tomasa.
How many years is that?
10+ years.
Okay. And how long have you known Tomasa Baldwin?
Probably around shortly after I met Wesley and we found out that we were family, got talking about background and how we were kind of connected because we're both from the UP.
I'm going to ask you some general questions and some more specific questions. How would you describe Tomasa Baldwin as a parent, as a mother?
I think she's a very good mother. She teaches them right from wrong and she helps them out, shows them things. She's there for them and she cares for them very well.
One of the issues that has come up in Mr. Baldwin's testimony is that he's denied that he's ever used a paddle or anything other than his hands to discipline the children. Do you know whether or not that's true?
That is false. He has. I've seen it.
Tell the court what you've seen.
Either Bella or Harley will be misbehaving and not listening, and Ella will call their father, Wesley Baldwin, and tell them what they've done. Either they're back talking or not wanting to do their homework or not wanting to listen. And Wesley would either come home, or when he gets off of work, he would paddle them or discipline them when he got there.
One of the things that Mr. Baldwin testified is that he's never allowed your significant other, Ella Bancroft, to physically discipline the children. To your knowledge, is that true or false?
That is false. I've also seen her hit the kids as well with the paddle and a yardstick.
What do you mean a yardstick? Can you describe that?
It's a 3 foot, like a ruler, except for I call it a yardstick because it's long. It's got like the measurements on it.
And one of the issues that came up were photographs of Mr. Baldwin's home on South Street that I would describe it as a mess with animal feces on the floor. Are you aware of any of such a photograph?
Yes, I am.
How are you aware of it?
I'm sorry, you cut out.
How are you aware of that photograph?
My fiance had gone there to the residence, and I asked him to take pictures and photographs of the home. That's the way it normally looks. It's usually a mess, and usually me and my fiance usually help them clean up their home on any given week.
And was there a time that dogs were living there?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that.
They did have two. I do believe one was a pit bull mix along with a German Shepherd mix. They did have two animals. I was told by Ella Bancroft that one of them had gotten into the mop water and died inside the home while they were gone. And then the other one, I do believe, was taken from the home, but I don't know who by who.
And in terms of in the last year, let's go back a year to last June. How many times would you have been in that home? Once, twice, on a weekly basis, a monthly basis? Can you let the court know how often you would spend time over there?
On a weekly basis, even when I didn't have my children. I have joint custody of my kids, and Miss Ella Bancroft was watching my kids every other week.
Did that end at any time?
Yes, it did.
Why?
They had lost power in their home, and there was other reasons behind it. My kids were not being taken care of properly.
What do you mean your kids weren't being taken care of properly?
I had noticed, like, I always leave a diaper bag. My son was in diapers. He's only 2 at the time, and he wasn't potty trained yet. And I was marking the diapers, and he would still be in the same diaper that I dropped him off with at 6:30 in the morning. When I got out of work at 3:30, he would still be in the same diaper, and his pants would be soaked.
One of the things that Mr. Baldwin testified when I was asking him questions was that he started dating Ella Bancroft on June 10th, 2020, but she didn't move in until approximately October of 2020. Do you have any knowledge as to whether or not that's true?
That is also false. I have pictures along with when Ella started watching my kids in August of her already living at the residence, and when Mr. Baldwin and Ella had changed the locks on the home, and Wesley had kicked Tomasa out, Ella and Mr. Baldwin were the ones that changed the locks, and Ella moved in that same weekend.
Was that in August or July?
That was in July.
Were you there in July?
I was there frequently to visit and do bonfires, hang out, spend family time.
Do you have concerns about Ella Bancroft being around other people's children, like your children or Miss Baldwin's children?
Yes, I do.
What are your concerns?
She does not watch them properly. Usually she'll sit in the back room and smoke cigarettes and smoke her weed, along with spanking them. And she would put them on couches for days and make them sit there, or stand them up in the corner for days and make them sit there and not allow them to do anything other than use the bathroom and eat, along with using paddles.
Does she smoke cigarettes in the house?
Yes, sir.
Does she smoke marijuana in the house?
Yes, sir.
Does she smoke cigarettes in the house with children in the house?
Yes, sir.
Does she smoke marijuana in the house with children in the house?
Yes, sir.
Does Mr. Baldwin smoke cigarettes?
No, he chews tobacco, but I have seen him hit cigarettes here and there when he's out of his tobacco. Usually Ella Bancroft would give him cigarettes whenever he ran out of his chewing tobacco.
Do you have concerns about Mr. Baldwin's parenting of his children?
Yes, sir. He is a military man and he is very strict. It's the whole kids are to be seen and not heard. So he is very strict. So when they are out of line, he does discipline them a lot. A lot of mental abuse and yelling at them along with hitting them.
What do you mean yelling at them? Can you give me an example?
He would swear at them, use cuss words, and yell in their face. And hit them on the back of the head, be very strict.
I'm curious, were you ever interviewed by CPS regarding complaints of Mr. Baldwin and Miss Bancroft?
No, I was never interviewed. They never talked to me.
What else would you like the court to know, if anything, regarding your concerns about the children in this matter and the parenting that they have experienced that you've witnessed?
I think the children would be a lot safer with Tomasa Baldwin. And I don't think it's okay to refuse his rights completely. I mean, supervised visits, I think, would be fine for the children. I do know Wesley Baldwin is at Ella Bancroft's parents' house, and they are the same. One of the whips that Ella does have in her possession was from her childhood. Her parents believe in spanking and hitting children, that they should be taught to listen and mind their manners and not butt in. And they are very strict as well. So I think it would be in the best interest of the children for them to be in Tomasa's care 100%, and then Wesley have supervised visitation.
Hey, did there ever come a time, were you aware that Miss Baldwin, Tomasa, had property still at the marital home? Are you aware of that?
Yes, sir, I am.
What are you aware of?
Tomasa had like words, if you will, from like science fair, the freeholding sides that she had pictures of for their wedding, pictures of for Paige, and then pictures of each children, each all different. Miss Bancroft had put those on fire because Wesley told her he could. A lot of stuff that was left there that was Tomasa's, they did burn. There was property there of their children's ashes and I do believe their dog's ashes, Chubby, and along with Tomasa's cat. Those are still all in the home, along with clothes that Miss Bancroft wears that Tomasa left, that she helped herself to.
Did you see any of Miss Baldwin's personal property actually get destroyed, or this was told to you by Mr. Baldwin or someone else?
It was told to me by Ella Bancroft, and then at bonfires, stuff was thrown into the fire.
Did you see it get thrown into the fire?
Yes, sir. Along with their couch, the furniture got burned. That was marital property.
Okay. Would you describe Mr. Baldwin as an honest person?
No. He is, I do believe, the definition of a narcissist. He'll tell you whatever you want to hear to get his way, so that way either he doesn't get in trouble or he gets what he wants.
Would you describe him as a reliable person?
No.
Is there anything else you'd like the court to know for the court to make its decision regarding this family?
I just worry about the best interests of the kids, and I do believe they'd be better off with their mother. I know she can take care of them, and she does really good at taking care of them, helping them with their schoolwork, teaching them right from wrong. She shows them a lot, and she's there for them.
Would you say that same thing about dad?
No. He always chose work over his kids. And not only that, I understand he is military, and so he is gone a lot to provide, and I get that and understand that tremendously. But as far as spending time with them and doing stuff with them, anytime he tried to do that, Ella and Mr. Baldwin were at each other's throats and arguing in front of the children because he showed more attention to his kids than he did to her. So it was always a conflict of interest between the two of them, and along with parenting.
Hold on, Ms. Wilkes. That's I want to ask you a little bit more about that. Are you testifying that you were there when Mr. Baldwin and Miss Bancroft would have arguments?
Yes, sir.
And is it your testimony that they would argue over how much attention he was paying towards Miss Bancroft versus how much attention he was paying towards his own kids?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about those arguments. Tell the court about those arguments.
One evening that I was there, and we were there visiting, and Wesley was helping both daughters, Harley and Bella, do their homework, stuff that Ella just didn't want to do. So he was helping them with that, and Ella had gotten to a heated argument, like, you haven't even given me a hug since you got home. I haven't received a kiss, nothing. You give your kids more attention to me. You need to choose between your kids or me. So it was always a heated argument.
You're telling me Miss Bancroft said you need to choose between your kids and me?
Yes, sir. More than one occasion, she has said that to him.
And what was
so he always chose her.
What was Mr. Baldwin's response?
He would choose her. He'd put the kids to bed and then spend time with her.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Baldwin, you may certainly ask her some questions now. Do you have questions for her?
No, I'm good, Your Honor.
So I do have a question for you. If Ella is such a bad person to have around children, and their home is, as you described it, often in a state of disarray as indicated in the photographs, why in the world did you let her watch your kids?
I had nobody else to help me. I am currently going through a divorce, and I'm a single parent myself. And I would go there when I dropped the kids off every morning. I would pick up the animal feces, whether it be pee or poop, off the floor every morning. And I basically dealt with it. I would talk to Ella about it, told her that I'm not okay with the stuff that was going on. You know, she said she'd get better. It would never happen again. But they were trying to help me out as well because I had nobody else to watch my kids. But now I have them in a daycare.
So the dog feces that we could see in the photographs, I believe, were taken at a time when the dogs were the only people living in the wrong word. The dogs were the only living things in the house. Are you saying that even when Mr. Baldwin and Ella were living there with her children, that you would frequently see animal feces on the floor and would actually clean it up yourself before you left your children there?
Yes, Your Honor. And that was on a every morning basis, if not every day. On the weekends, I would come there before I got my children and would help them fill up 3-4 garbage bags worth of trash that was all over the house, along with animal feces, to help them keep the house clean.
The reason you were helping them clean the house is so that your children could be left in a house that's clean rather than one in disarray.
Correct, Your Honor.
Thank you. I have no other questions. Did you have any more, Mr. Lulgirai?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Baldwin, I'm assuming you still have no questions for her?
I have none.
All right. Any reason that this witness can't be excused?
No, she may be excused as I'm fine with that. Thank you, Ms. Wilkes.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you,
Wilkes. You
sir.
are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Any further presentation, Mr. Liljuraj?
No, Your Honor. I think I had shared with you last time I had run the child support formula in the alimony calculator. I believe I did.
Well, let me look at my notes.
If
Yes,
not,
you
you're-
did.
Okay, yeah.
You indicated that the spousal support uh,
365.
calculation was 365 a month for 3.5 to 5 years.
Yes, Your Honor. That's all. I rest my case in chief, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Baldwin, this is your chance to testify if you have more to tell the court, or to present any other witnesses who you would like to have testify on your behalf. Do you have some testimony for the court? Pardon?
I don't have anything. I don't have anything other than I can't afford to pay anything else. I'm already getting hit with $1,500 in child support on top of my rent, my insurance, and all that. I can't afford to pay anything else. I literally have maybe $50 a week in my name at the end of the week after paying everything. And that's all I have.
All right, I can accept that testimony. That's part of my consideration when I'm awarding spousal support is ability to pay. Mr. Liljuraj, do you want to question him on that issue?
Yes. What is your rent a month, sir? Currently?
$890.
$890. And do you have a car payment?
Not anymore.
Do you have health insurance? I think you testified earlier you do not.
I don't, but I'm trying to, and that's going to cost me about $160 a month if I do go through TRICARE to get that.
I thought it was $600 to cover a family, or you're just trying to cover yourself.
I'm trying to cover myself.
But you're not,
because I can't afford to pay $600.
and how much do you spend a month on groceries?
Probably about $400 a week.
$400 a week?
Yeah, pretty close to that.
That's
give or take.
That's more than $1,600, $1,700 a month.
Well, meat's not cheap anymore.
$400 a week in groceries. What other monthly expenses do you have?
I got vehicle insurance. That's $125.
I'm sorry, I'm confused, sir. You indicated you don't have a car. But you do have a vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's car insurance is $125 a month. Are you paying that right now?
No, I have to get it on the other vehicle.
So currently you're not paying car insurance?
Not at this time right today, no.
I
But
want to
within
know
the next week I will be.
Okay, I want to know what you're paying now. What else are you paying now on a monthly basis?
Child support.
Okay. Are you paying it just in this case or in another case too?
I'm paying it to the other case too.
How much are you paying in the other case?
It depends on the paycheck on what they take out.
How
It
much?
can be, it's roughly about, I think the last time I seen it was roughly like $230 something, right around in there.
A month?
A week out of my check.
Do you know what your current child support order is in the other case?
I haven't looked at it in a while now.
You don't know what it is?
Well, I haven't seen that child in 9-10 years because it was always an argument and a fight just to be able to see the child.
Yeah, I understand. That's not my question. Do you know what the current amount of the child support is ordered in the case not related to the matter that we're here for today?
I don't remember what it was, no.
What other monthly expenses do you have?
My phone bill.
How much is your phone bill?
150.
Does that cover you and Miss Bancroft's phone?
Yes.
Okay. And that $890 rent, that covers you and Miss Bancroft. Does Miss Bancroft contribute to the food expense of $400 a week?
Yes, she does.
How much does she contribute?
She contributes at least half of it.
So she contributes half of food. Does she contribute to the rent?
No.
Does she contribute to the car insurance?
No.
Does she contribute to your child support?
No.
But she contributes, you said, to the phone bill, half of it?
Yes.
What other monthly expense do you have?
I think that's it. Oh no. Rent-A-Center takes money out because they're garnishing my wages for that.
How much do they take out?
They take out, it just depends on the week of what the check is. They only take out, I think it's like 5% of what the check is.
5% of check. Okay. But do you know that amount?
It's anywhere from $100 to $200.
A week or a month?
I'd have to look at my check because they haven't taken it from my Jimmy's checks. It was always from a military check so far. And we get paid monthly from the military, so I can't say whether they're taking it by week or by month. I don't know. I don't know that answer at this point.
Okay. What other monthly expenses do you have?
I think that's it.
And in terms of monthly expenses that benefit you, what does Ella cover? She covers half of the food, half of the phone. What else, if anything?
That's it so far.
Is there an intention for her to cover more in the future?
In the future, when she goes back to work, yes.
Where does she work?
Well, currently she don't work anywhere right now.
Where did she work before?
She worked at a gas station.
She's about to have a baby, right?
Yes.
You heard Miss Wilkes testify that items that belonged to Tomasa were burned in a bonfire. Did you or Ella Bancroft burn some of Tomasa's personal property in a fire?
No, nothing has been burnt. Everything that was in the house went to the back storage room. And a lot of the stuff she had already taken.
So either she took the items or those items on that list should still be there.
Yes.
So Miss Wilkes was wrong. It wasn't burned in a bonfire.
Correct.
And Miss Wilkes, you heard her testify that she's seen you use a paddle on the children. You heard her testimony.
Mm-hmm.
She's your cousin, right?
Yes.
Are you saying she's lying?
Yes. I've never used a paddle.
Are you saying she's lying about Miss Bancroft using physical discipline on the children?
Yes.
So she's lying about that too, correct?
Yes.
And you heard her testify that Miss Bancroft moved in much earlier than you indicated on your prior testimony. She's lying about that too.
Well, I never said that she moved in October to begin with.
Okay, when did you say she moved in then?
I said August.
In August she moved in.
And according to April, it was July, but I was on military orders in July.
Well, didn't you have parenting time with Leland, the youngest child, at the end of July?
At the end of July.
So you weren't on military orders the whole month of July, were you?
No. I came back the end of July. The weekend that I got him was the weekend that I came home.
Had Miss Bancroft moved in at that point?
No. She had stayed the weekend, yes, but she wasn't physically moved in.
So are you telling the court that everything that Miss Wilkes, your cousin, just testified to was a lie?
Yes.
And the things that Miss Baldwin testified to regarding the physical abuse, those were lies too?
Yes.
That you're the only one here that's telling the truth?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, anything further from you, Mr. Baldwin?
No.
All right, well, at this point, I'm ready to hear arguments. Mr. Lujuri will go first. Basically, an argument is telling me what you want me to order and why I should do that. So go ahead, Mr. Lujuri.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, as it relates, I'm gonna kind of pick the low-hanging fruit first. As it relates to child support, we have no objection to the amount that the friend of the court recommended in this case. When I run the calculation on the margin soft system, there's a $4 difference, so there's no point in arguing about that. So we're okay with that, and except for we filed an objection as to the onset date. I believe the onset date under the law should be November 13th, 2020, when the complaint for divorce was filed in this matter. It seemed, for some reason, the friend of the court, I don't know if they made a mistake or they just picked an arbitrary date, but as it relates to child support, that's what we would request, number one. Number two, Your Honor, there's no dispute here that Ms. Baldwin, because of her medical procedure, is confined to a wheelchair. The friend of the court did calculate that appropriately because she receives SSI and other means tested assistance. Her income gets set at 0 per the guidelines. I'm asking for an additional $365 a month and spousal support because we didn't negotiate that. There's no Staples bar on that, but that's where we're at with that. As it relates to the personal property, Your Honor, we've heard conflicting testimony. I'm going to take Mr. Baldwin. He says all the property is there or should be there. He is familiar with that list, so that list would be made a part of a judgment of divorce, and he would provide those items, return those items to Ms. Baldwin. If for some reason they are not returned, provide an explanation as to what happened to them. I believe we're in agreement as to their daughters. There's not a
Mr.
dog in my
Baldwin,
office.
I'm gonna mute the dog noise. Has a physical list been submitted? I don't remember seeing that.
No, Your Honor, I had submitted the list to Mr. Baldwin, but not to the court. I can provide the same list to the court, the exact same list I provided to Mr. Baldwin. We went through the testimony of all the items. One of the issues was the child that passed away, the infant that passed away, dividing the ashes, and
I definitely remember that. When you mentioned list, I was not remembering seeing a list. So I do remember hearing testimony. Yes.
Yeah, you would have only seen it on a shared screen, Your Honor. But that can be provided.
Okay, I do remember that now. I remember seeing the shared screen. If you could forward a copy of that list to my law clerk, John Fleming.
Yes, Your Honor. If I can do that right now, just so I don't forget.
It's jfleming@mijackson.org.
Okay.
Right.
What I'm going to do is I want to copy, make sure I copy Mr. Baldwin on that. J. Fleming
at mijackson.org.
Is it mi dot Jackson?
Nope.
Okay.
M.I. Jackson.
Okay. And I am just including Mr. Baldwin on it, and I'm just forwarding that thread just so everyone has it. So there's that issue, Your Honor. Then I think the important issue is we have, obviously this always comes down to credibility. And I like to ask people, well, are you saying someone's lying? And if you were to believe Mr. Baldwin, that Miss Baldwin is lying about the physical abuse, that his own cousin, who's been at the house, is lying about what she observed. I submit to the court that their testimony was more credible and believable, that there was domestic violence in this relationship. There was abuse. You had an opportunity to see the photographs of the condition of the house. When I asked Mr. Baldwin about the dogs, his answers were not the answers I would expect. I felt that they were evasive. I don't know. I don't know. I think we know what we do with our pets. At least I would hope so. You saw the condition of that house and you heard Miss Wilkes' testimony, although she didn't testify for a long time. I think she did testify compellingly. And one of the questions that you asked, Your Honor, was the same question that I had on my mind. Well, why have your kids there? I don't think they were there for a long time, but we do have concerns about how the children are treated there. They're consistent with our concerns, or the concerns Miss Baldwin has had from the beginning. We also have a situation where Mr. Baldwin is admitting that he had blocked her phone number, had blocked her from Facebook. And if you remember his testimony, because I watched it again before today from last week, he would say things that somewhat troubled me and may trouble the court. He kept on saying, she doesn't listen. She doesn't listen. And when I asked, did she make you mad? Yes, she makes me mad. And when I asked whether or not you've been disrespectful towards her, yes, but she was disrespectful to me. When I asked, did you call her names? Yes, but she made me mad. And I'm just wondering, quite frankly, about his maturity. I'm wondering whether or not it made sense for him, Your Honor, when you have someone out of the hospital in a wheelchair, and I get it. We do this for a living, Your Honor, these family law cases, but when we get married, it's better or for worse. And when she ends up in a wheelchair, he ends up with a girlfriend. He ends up locking his wife and the kids. I mean, because in essence, it's locking the kids out of the house, telling her not to come back. And now he's in another relationship with a woman who has children from 3 other relationships. He's about to have a child with her. So a 4th relationship calls into question. I didn't call her to testify, neither did he, but it calls into question her fitness to be around these children. When he goes 3 months, he says, well, I couldn't see the kids because of the current court order. Well, he's been in front of this court a number of times now. He could have filed a motion on his own. He could have reached out to Miss Baldwin. He could have reached out to me and requested an accommodation and parenting time. So what we're going to ask for, Your Honor, because what I've witnessed and what I know about the history of this file, I don't think sole legal custody makes sense in terms of decision making, especially when one party refuses to communicate, just refuses. How are you going to make joint decisions regarding that? Especially when one party has been physically, emotionally, and verbally abusive to another party and denies it ever happened. The way he responds to it is everybody's lying but him. So we're going to ask for sole legal custody. Now, Ms. Baldwin has concerns about safety, and she's willing to, she knows it's important for the children to have a relationship with their father, but I think it's also equally important, if not more so, that it be a safe and healthy relationship, both physically, mentally, and emotionally. When I mean physically, I'm talking about the house. So what she's suggesting is that he have every other week parenting time on his days off, but that there be no physical discipline, that Miss Bancroft not be allowed to care for the children without Mr. Baldwin being present, because we are concerned about her care of the children, and we're concerned about the lack of what I consider honesty here as to what's happening over there. Your Honor, I went through the best interest factors. I'm not going to go through them again. I think my client is favored under those. I am concerned about the living situation. We have now a number of people. He's living with his significant other's parents right now. He doesn't know when he's going to get back into a house. But I would suggest that parenting time not begin until they're back in that house, demonstrate that that house has electricity, and demonstrate that that house has been cleaned of the fecal matter and all that's on the floor. I don't expect the house to be perfect, Your Honor. I know mine often isn't, but I do expect it to be free of urine and feces. Your Honor, do you have any questions for me?
I do not.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Baldwin, this is your opportunity then for argument. What would you like the court to do and why?
Well, like I said before, I get hit with anything more payment wise, I'm going to be broke. I'm going to be living on the streets because I can't make that payment. I can't get back into my house because I'm not going to be able to afford it. As far as medical concerns and stuff like that, when my daughter went to the hospital in Midland, I wasn't even notified about that when she still had my number. She didn't even tell me that my daughter was in the hospital. And that was a concern of what happened and why, because I had no clue of anything. But I'm at the liberty of the courts. You know, I'll abide by whatever decision is made.
All right. So unless I'm mistaken, I have not interviewed any child in this case. It would certainly appear that Isabel is old enough to express an opinion, a preference. Harley is probably borderline. He's 6 and he's going to be 7 in is it
Your Honor,
July?
Harley's a she. Harley's a she, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I do remember testimony about. So, I mean, let me ask: Is Harley? Do you believe old enough, able to express a reasonable preference as to where she would want to live? What do you think, Miss Baldwin?
You have to unmute yourself, Ms. Baldwin.
I don't think she is. Right now, both my girls are going through a lot. I have to even seek out counseling for my girls because they've woken up with night terrors. Like I said, it takes me a couple hours just to get them to go back to sleep. When they wake up,
Well, let me ask Mr. Baldwin. Mr. Baldwin, do you believe that Harley is old enough and able to express a reasonable preference to the court?
I believe that she might be able to, but the question is, would she? I don't know if she actually would speak up and talk. I don't know.
Mr. Logier, I think I'm certainly compelled to speak with Isabella. I can interview Harley as well. And if she's able to express a preference, I'll take it into account. We need to set up a time to do that. I can do that by Zoom. I'd like to get that done sooner rather than later. Are the girls in school today, Ms. Baldwin?
yes, both my girls physically go to school their last day is actually June 10th, and it is a half day.
What time do they get out of school?
Their release time is 11:30
In the morning?
Oh, so,
on the 10th. Yes, their actual release
no,
time
no,
is
no, no.
No.
What time do they get out today?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Is it possible for you to arrange for me to do a video conference with each of them? You would dial
Yes.
in the same way you dialed into the hearing today. I would want you to have each girl alone when I talk to her. Let's go with Isabella first. Let's plan that for. Will they be home safely by say 3:30?
I'd say 3:40. They do ride the
3:40?
bus.
Okay. All right, let's do that. Let's do 3:40. I'll talk to Isabella first. Just tell them the judge would like to talk to them privately. That's all I want you to tell them. And then make sure that they're in a place where nobody else can hear so that I can have a private conversation with them.
Do you understand?
Okay, I'll look for you at 3:40, and then once I've had a chance to interview the girls, then I will issue my decision.
Yes, and then, Your Honor, just so if I can just add these things. He has a TSP account that we would like divided. I know it's small, but it was accumulated during the marriage. And then as it relates to the $2,400 COVID check, I think that was $1,200 to each of them. I know Ms. Baldwin thinks it's for the kids, but I think the court's right. He owes her $1,200 of that back. As to the $5,600 check that's coming for the kids and her, that she would be allowed to retain that entire check if it in fact arrives to her.
All right, thank you very much. That concludes our hearing today. I'll look forward to talking to the girls at 3:40.
As always, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you.